Good evening, sci-fi movie nerds, and welcome to another episode of the Sci-Fi Movie Guy. This is weekly show number 35, and I'm your host, Mike. So let's get started as we always do with Star Wars news, and our first story today is, why didn't I do a Season 3 finisher for the final episode of Star Wars Rebels? Well, that's because I am still taking it all in. I have to be honest with you. I've seen some of the other people's reviews on the season finale of Season 3, and I'm going to be doing it tomorrow. Saturday, I'm going to put that up. I just am putting together all of my thoughts for Season 3, how the season finale went. You saw my other episodes on the season, so I liked some of them, I didn't like some of them, and I'm going to be coming up with some comments, so watch for that on Saturday. So now we're going to get into our first piece of news, and it's StarWarsNewsNet.com has released a fantastic article this week, yesterday as a matter of fact, and a while ago we were told by Anthony Bruce that Lucasfilm seemed to be waiting to figure out if the sequel trilogy was going to use Obi-Wan before they wanted to greenlight a spin-off. Well, evidently, we didn't have to wait too long, and your prayers have been answered. Kathleen Kennedy and the rest of Lucasfilm fully intend to make an Obi-Wan movie set between Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope, with Ewan McGregor in tow. Of the three projects that are coming out for standalone movies, this is the one that we got the most information about. It also should be noted that the source from Star Wars Newsnet clarified the following. I want to emphasize that it's a movie, singular, not a trilogy. Who might be directing the film, you may ask? Well, one potential candidate is someone already very familiar with the galaxy far, far away. The source from StarWarsNewsNet.com reports that Kathleen Kennedy was very happy with Gareth Edwards on Rogue One, and that he may get a shot at directing the Kenobi film. Now, I am so excited. This is not 100% for sure. This is just a source that StarWarsNewsNet.com had, saying that they are doing a Kenobi film for sure after the trilogy, or after the trilogy's done, or maybe near the end of the trilogy. As we all know, though, we've heard many rumors that in Star Wars Episode 8, The Last Jedi, Ewan McGregor will be doing a Force Ghost for Obi-Wan Kenobi, which is so cool. I'm so excited about that, but I'm excited to hear that they're rumors because StarWarsNewsNet.com has some incredible sources at Lucasfilm. So if they're saying it and they're writing it on their website, chances are this is definitely a go. So super excited about that. Maybe we'll hear more about it at Star Wars Celebration in April. I think Ewan McGregor is going to be there because it's the big 40th anniversary. Getting my hopes up. That's what I'm doing. I'm getting my hopes up because I really want a Kenobi film, and I think there's a lot of areas we can explore in between Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope and even Rogue One, where he's on Tatooine for 20 plus years. So let's hope. And our next story in Star Wars news is also from StarWarsNewsNet.com. That same source also revealed that two other anthology films are in the works. The first will be a bounty hunter movie bringing back Boba Fett, who will figure prominently in this movie, but also a lot of other bounty hunters we have yet to explore, like the Rogues Gallery from Empire Strikes Back, but also some old familiar faces from the Clone Wars animated series. The second movie that has been proposed will be targeted at more of a young adult audience and center around a love story, not unlike the canon novel Lost Stars. No other details were given on these two movies, and again, if we look at the timeline of when we get the Star Wars Episode 8 is December 2017. Then we get the Han Solo movie, which is May 2018. Then we still have the December opening where we could do one of these standalone films, maybe the Bounty Hunters. Then we have 2019, which is Episode 9. Then maybe we get an Obi-Wan Kenobi movie the following May, and then we finish it off with this love story, Lost Stars. Now, I think that we're going to have a lot of Star Wars movies coming up, and again, I wish we had 2 a year. Some people don't wish that, and that's into our last Star Wars story. Is finally StarWarsNewsNet.com revealed that their source said after Episode 9 is finished, Disney might be taking a break from the big screen as to not get fan fatigue for their movies and focus on the small screen for more projects, such as more animated series like Rebels, as well as possibly a live-action TV series. So, thank you, StarWarsNewsNet.com, for putting together all these rumors and things that you're hearing from your sources. Do I think we need a break after Episode 9 and all these movies? No, I do not. I would love to see movies every year, one a year for the rest of my life. But I get where you're coming from as a studio. Yes, there might be some fatigue from the non-Star Wars people like me who went out in droves to see Force Awakens. I think they went out to see that because there was such a long period in between the prequels and in between The Force Awakens. So do I see it from a business standpoint? Yes. From a fan standpoint? No. Please keep making movies. But if you're not going to make movies, yes, give me some TV shows, which I would love to see. I would love to see a live-action Old Republic TV show where they explore back into Darth Bane and Darth Revan and all those characters, and that would be amazing. But I want more movies too, guys. But you know what? We already know for sure that Rebels is either ending after Season 4 or Season 5. We're going to find out at Celebration if Season 4 of Rebels is the final. We know Dave Filoni is already working on another animated series that we're going to get probably immediately following the end of Rebels. And they're in talks of a live-action TV show. So as long as I'm getting some kind of Star Wars content, I'm happy. I love the movies. I want to see the movies more, but I love the TV shows too. So just keep bringing me more Star Wars and I'm going to be happy. Now we get into sci-fi news today, and our first story is Joss Whedon is nearing a deal to direct, write, and produce a new yet untitled Batgirl movie. Joss and Warner Brothers are still in negotiations, but it looks like this movie, along with Warner Brothers courting Aaron Sorkin to write a future superhero movie for them, that DC and Warner Brothers are finally starting to take the fans' critiques of their movies seriously. Now, I say that because we have had some very divisive Warner Brothers DC movies. Batman v Superman, Suicide Squad, not exactly tremendous hits when it comes to the critics and the fans. However, they were pretty good at the box office, so that is why Warner Brothers is continuing down this road, because Batman v Superman made a boatload of money. Now, are we going to get more of that type of movie? No. I think DC, after the Justice League, if Justice League and Wonder Woman don't do well, they are going back to the drawing board and they are doing something new. And we've talked about this before. They've announced Nightwing. They've announced Flash is getting completely redone. Batman is getting completely redone. They are looking at new ways to do this. So I'm happy to hear this. I'm excited to hear that Warner Brothers is taking this very seriously and they're looking at new directions. Aaron Sorkin is probably one of the best writers in Hollywood today, whether it's television, movies, and what we're hearing about that story is that he said, I have never read a comic book a day in my life. So figure out which superhero you want me to do. And they're also he's also talking to Marvel, so he may be doing Marvel too. I think he's pitting both of them against. But I think DC has a better chance of landing him because they have some more iconic characters. And when you give him a Green Lantern, let's say, and then he goes back and reads 700 comic books about Green Lantern, he will learn anything that he's writing. He will learn everything about that character and then bring it to the big screen in an amazing script. I can't think of a bad movie that he has written. So I'm excited to hear all of this. I'm still skeptical. I don't know whether Warner Brothers knows how to get out of the way of their scriptwriters. We're going to find out with Patty Jenkins' Wonder Woman and Zack Snyder's Justice League and see if he lets them do those movies the way the directors wanted to do them. I'm hopeful, yet skeptical. And then we get into our next sci-fi story, which is Kinsman, The Golden Circle, so Kinsman 2, has released a new poster, and Colin Firth's name is featured as top billing for this movie. It also reveals that Channing Tatum, Julianne Moore, Jeff Bridges, Halle Berry, and Elton John will be joining the cast, along with returning stars Taron Egerton and Mark Strong. Kingsman 2 is set for release September 29th, 2017. And I know you're all saying, well, how is Colin Firth going to be in this movie? He died. Pretty spectacular death in the last one. Well, we're in the sci-fi world. We know that they can bring people back, so that might be the way they do it. Or he might be a hologram. He might be a computer-generated program teaching Taron Egerton. You just don't know, but yes, it makes sense that he's back. How they do it, we won't know until we see the movie, but I'm not at all upset about this because they can find a really good way to bring him back. And I loved him in the first Kingsman. These other actors, they are bringing in some serious talent for this movie. Julianne Moore, Jeff Bridges, Halle Berry. Oh my God, they are going to be spending some serious money. So this has the potential to be as good, if not better, than the first Kingsman movie, which I loved. So excited, call me, because this is a great news story. The poster's fantastic, so let's see where they come. I'm not sure about Elton John acting, but you know what? He's a great musician, so maybe he's coming in to be a musician in one of the scenes. Let's wait and see. And then we get into our next sci-fi story, which is Sony and Marvel did an unprecedented thing by announcing they would be sharing Spider-Man and placing him officially in the MCU. With Spider-Man Homecoming dropping in July, along with a confirmed appearance in Avengers Infinity War, talk is already looking towards the future of Spidey and his place in the MCU. But there might be a wrinkle in those long-term plans. Speaking at CinemaCon via Cosmic Book News, Amy Pascal surprised fans by saying that after the sequel to Homecoming, Spidey might go back to Sony. Now, this was a very huge misstep in the PR world for Sony, having her say this. I don't think she understood what she was saying and how many of us are going to go, oh, well, so after the sequel to Homecoming, he's not going to be in the MCU anymore, and you're going to take him back and try to make good Spider-Man movies without the MCU and without Disney and Marvel. And no, that's not what she was saying, I think. She was saying that the deal only spans, he got Captain America Civil War, then Spider-Man Homecoming, then the 2 Avengers movies, and a sequel to Spider-Man Homecoming. That's all signed and done. So we have Spider-Man in the MCU for a very long time. What I think she meant to say is, after that, he comes back to Sony because there's no other deals for any more movies in the MCU. But by that time, if he's successful in the MCU, Sony will probably look to sign another deal if Marvel is still interested in keeping him going. On the other side, Marvel wouldn't sign him for any more than that because they have some actors that are getting up there in age when it comes to playing Iron Man, playing Captain America. All these guys are 40s and mid 30s, and they're going to be in their, early 40s to late 40s by the time all these movies are done. So Tom Holland is still very young. So he might not fit in with what they're trying to do if they decide to reboot, start over. Who knows? So don't get really excited about this yet. We don't know what the future holds. We've got a lot of movies yet to make. 7, 8, 9 years of movies before Tom Holland and Spider-Man go back to Sony and are not in the MCU anymore. If that even happens, like I said, these contracts could be extended, renegotiated. So don't worry about it. Let's all just keep our pants on. So then we get into our next story, which is the first trailer and poster has been released for the much-anticipated adaptation of Stephen King's classic novel, It. When children begin to disappear in the town of Derry, Maine, a group of young kids are faced with their biggest fears when they square off against an evil clown named Pennywise, whose history of murder and violence dates back for centuries. Director Mamas Andres Muschietti. The movie stars Bill Skarsgård as Pennywise, along with Midnight Special's Jaden Lieberher and Stranger Things' Finn Wolfhard. The movie is set to hit theaters on September 8th later this year. And this trailer that came out this week is fantastic. What it looks like from the trailer is that they're not going to show them as adults. They're only going to show the children's portion. If you've read the book It, you know that it flashes back and forth between them in the future and them in the past, and how the kids had to overcome Pennywise and then go into the future and then fight him as adults. But everything in this trailer just shows the kids. So maybe they're not going to go into that adult portion of the book, and maybe that's a sequel. Who knows? But this trailer just shows the kids version. But this trailer and this poster are fantastic. I love this book. It was my favorite Stephen King book growing up as a kid. I love the television miniseries that they did of it, with Tim Curry as Pennywise the Clown, and John Ritter was in it. The guy from Little House on the Prairie, Bill, he was in it. There were some great actors in it for those days. So color me crazy. I can't wait to see this movie. I have high hopes. The trailer was amazing, so let's see how it goes. And our final story today is we got a lot of new trailers since last Saturday, including Justice League, Spider-Man Homecoming, and then again, most recently, Stephen King's It 2017 is going to be a jam-packed year for sci-fi fans, and I'm happy to be alive to see all these movies this year. Now, out of these three trailers, Justice League, Spider-Man, Homecoming, new trailer, and It, I thought It was the best trailer. The movie that I'm most excited of these three movies, however, is Justice League, because I'm hoping that Warner Brothers has changed their thoughts and are not going to interfere like they did in Batman v Superman. But all of these trailers I thought were great across the board. The Justice League trailer had some amazing shots of Aquaman flying off the Batmobile. Very well positioned for an action film. The Spider-Man Homecoming second trailer had a lot of the same elements I thought as the first trailer, so not as good a trailer, but I'm still very excited to see Spider-Man coming up this summer. We have a great year of movies. If you want, you can go back and watch my most anticipated movies of 2017. I did a video, shows you all the movies that I'm really looking forward to. Some have already come out, some haven't come out yet. Please check that out. Please also let me know in the comments section below what you think of all these stories. Click like if you think that this show was good. Really helps me on the viewing side. Please subscribe to the channel and send me an email if you guys want to ask me any questions. You can reach me on email at movieguySci-fi@gmail.com. You can also follow me on Facebook and Twitter at movieguySci-fi. And remember, everybody, nerds rule the world.